Shakalaka, Bitcoin bounces back big time today. Is this actually a confirmation of the bull cycle, or is this a fake out? Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're taking a look at Bitcoin, the whole entire market bounce back. Is this actually bull cycle confirmation, or are we all about to be faked out and cry ourselves to sleep? Before we get into that, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Now, guys, the whole entire market is back 7.5% today. Bitcoin itself up 5.36% in a day to $52,421. Now, because of that, a whole bunch of shorts got wrecked. This says 88 million, but it was actually all the way up to $250 million of shorts getting wrecked with the price. That's what happens when you trade on margin. You lose all of your Bitcoin, unless you're a very good trader. Now, is this the end of the bloodshed? Because veteran trader Peter Brandt says he's entered orders to buy Bitcoin at $32,501. It did not go down that far. It went down to $47,000. Definitely not $32,501. It's looking more likely like it could confirm this chart here. Very interesting chart from DJR0726 over on TradingView, the relationship between Bitcoin price and the options expiration dates. Turns out that just prior to the options expiration date, which is the end of every month, Bitcoin price drops on average about 26%. Now, after the options expirations, the price goes up on average about 65%. Now, based on this alone, and again, this is just averages, but we could be looking at a $78,000 to $80,000 Bitcoin in mid-May, which would go along with April and May being historically good months for Bitcoin. Now, what happened in just the past day with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin, ever since it broke out of these pink lines, this right here, this ascending wedge, generally a bearish pattern, it broke down as expected. And as we can see, this yellow line here started to become a trend line for it. It has actually broken back above the trend line, which is good. We have a little bit of relief right there. It actually bounced off of the 100-day moving average. It says 600 here because these are 4-hour candles, but this would be the 100-day moving average just below the bottom of this bullish megaphone that Bitcoin's been in since about October. Now, this is actually good news that it's broken above that trend line, because if it didn't, it could continue going down even further to this orange line right here, the 150-day moving average, which historically it has never broken in a bull cycle. Bitcoin as a whole, though, has still been hovering somewhat, I would say loosely hovering around the yellow rainbow spider line. However, it was looking like it was headed down towards the orange rainbow spider line again to sit there. If we zoom in on this, and we'll just have to click auto down there for that to happen, if we zoom in on this, we can see here that it's actually found there was some resistance here, support, and support again that it found right there, this white line right here, and we have a little bit of a bullish megaphone going on right here around the yellow spider line. Hopefully we'll see it breaking back above again. So in the short term, it looks like Bitcoin has broken out of the bearish trend temporarily. We'll have to hope that it stays around here, that this 100-day moving average does end up support. Now, there is some really exciting news coming up for Bitcoin at the end of this episode. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to get into some news going on. So right now, Binance is to launch MicroStrategy's, Apple, and Microsoft stock tokens, bringing the total number of stock tokens tradable on Binance to 5. Pretty interesting. So Binance announced it will launch tokenized stock pairings for leading business intelligence firm MicroStrategy, in addition to multinational tech firms Apple and Microsoft. The tokens will allow users to trade fractionalized units of the share tokens with minimum trade sizing at 1/100th of a token. The exchange asserts its tokens are fully backed by depository portfolio of underlying securities held by German financial services provider CM Equity AG, however, not available to residents of mainland China, United States, and Turkey. Isn't that great? The United States is in the same boat as China and Turkey. Yikes. Binance launched its first stock token on April 12th, allowing customers to speculate on the price of Tesla and also Coinbase. So now there's Coinbase, Tesla, MicroStrategies, Apple, and Microsoft. Pretty exciting. Big alert to everybody out there. So PancakeSwap just posted this on Twitter. There's an ongoing email scam campaign. Scammers are pretending to be PancakeSwap, promising a fake airdrop of 400K in order to steal people's funds. So use caution with everything. The scammers are out there in force. They know there's lots of money out there. There's scams with PancakeSwap, with Celsius. There's people imitating me. So all types of things. There's people imitating pretty much every other YouTuber. So be extra careful with everything. Also, an interesting project to check out. This is a sponsored highlight of the project, but it's Wheat by Growth DeFi. So something worthwhile to take out at wheat.growthdefi.com. So basically, they're doing a sustainable yield farming. Wheat is a token used to incentivize the products of the Growth DeFi ecosystem. In exchange, a large portion of the revenues are directed towards buybacking and burning it. The ultimate goal is to make wheat deflationary. So right now, 100% of the wheat emissions go towards incentivizing farmers. There's a 0% team allocation for the emissions. Deflation in wheat happens when the buyback contract is buybacking and burning more wheat than the emission rate at the time. The typical farming, right now for wheat's unique sustainable model, the typical farming uses up any existing revenues to automatically buy back the token. However, the point in time where the protocol is making the most revenue is usually also the point at which the token's price is the highest. This makes the effective buyback amount negligible compared to the token being issued. When the price of the token eventually crashes down, so does the TVL volume of the protocol, and as a direct consequence, the revenue of it. The result is that no matter the current state of the protocol, it never has enough revenue to buy back more of what it's issuing. And as you can see here, this is basically the whole model here. You can check it out on their Medium article. As a result of this setup, the amount of wheat being bought back is dependent on the profits generated by all of the fee collector contracts, not the direct revenue of the protocol. The goal of wheat is sustainable farming. So everybody who's into yield farming, this could be something interesting for you. Growth over the long term and being able to incentivize the products of the Growth DeFi ecosystem. So you can see there's lots of core pairs here that they have here. And there's also the PancakeSwap strategy tokens. So a lot of information there as well on the Medium article. I will post a link to this down in the pinned comment, as well as a link to their website so you could check it out yourself. Pretty interesting project for everyone who's into yield farming and people who are big fans of Binance Smart Chain. So make sure to check that out. Now, last couple things we have to say about Bitcoin, because there is a lot going on with Bitcoin right now. I am pretty excited, especially with this. It looks like we may have found support at $47,000, and hopefully Bitcoin will never go below there again. We may be entering the second half of the bull cycle to where Bitcoin could be headed to, I don't know, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 per Bitcoin. Now, Raoul Pal, he's the guy who basically told me to go all in on Bitcoin when it was $10,000. He didn't tell me personally, but I listened to. I was listening to Rich Dad Radio, and he was a guest on there. So he says now, if we take a look at the RSI down here, that Bitcoin is nearly as oversold as it was in March 2020. Black Tuesday, way back here when Bitcoin price dropped from $6,000 to $3,000 overnight, boom, guess what? We're all the way down there on the RSI. Could potentially go down a little bit lower. We may yet see Bitcoin go even further like what Peter Brandt thinks, but we may also have found a bottom at $47,000. He goes on to say even further that the weekly RSI is close to the levels that we saw in corrections in the first part of the 2017 bull run before Bitcoin hit hyperspace. These are the pauses that refresh a bull market. So if we take a look at the weekly RSI here, we can see it bounces off, bounces off, bounces off. Look at this, bounces off, bounces off, bounces off again. So potentially Bitcoin could be headed towards hitting hyperspace pretty soon. Even more interesting, we have the Bitcoin percent supply and profit 7-day moving average just reach a 6-month low of 85%. If we take a look at this, hasn't been this low since October, the beginning of the bull cycle. So for everybody who missed out buying Bitcoin way down here, guess what? Chance number 2 may be occurring right now. And this goes for Bitcoin and pretty much all altcoins out there as well. I'll just end it with one of my favorite analysts' charts. This is Willy Woo's NVT chart. Dilution Proof over on Twitter says the Bitcoin price is kissing Woonomic's NVT price model right now for the first time this bull cycle, assuming start of March 2020. Throughout the previous bull cycles, this model provided price support 1 to 4 times before reaching the respective blow-off tops. So as you can see here, touching the blue NVT line right now. As you can see here in 2017, it touched 1, 2, 3, 4, and in 2013, it touched once. So this could be very, very strong support for Bitcoin, which is great because the bleeding may end and we could be headed for much higher highs. Thank you all for watching so much. I do appreciate it. If you did like it, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.